I greet you in Jesus' precious name. Are you a very efficient planner? I'm talking more to the mothers now. Because I know in my own house too, us men can be very, very, how can I say, untidy. Often it's the ladies that are good planners. But you know, sometimes we can over-plan. Sometimes we can be so efficient and so good at our planning that we plan Jesus right out of our lives. Let's go to Proverbs, the book of Proverbs that was written by the wisest man that ever lived, King Solomon. And this is what it says. Proverbs chapter 19 and verse 21. It says, there are many plans in a man's heart. Nevertheless, the Lord's counsel, that will stand. If you look at John 8:36, it says, if the Lord shall set you free, you shall be free indeed. Be careful that we don't plan God right out of the picture, okay? Compulsive planning. We need to give God liberty to do what He wants to do with our lives. I'm not saying that we mustn't plan. I'm a farmer. We've got to plan that crop right from the beginning to the end. These guys that get up in the morning and say, well, what should we do today? Well, let's plant a crop of maize. You're not going to make it. The year before, your equipment must be serviced. It must be well oiled. It must be ready for planting in the dry season. So when the rains come, everything must be ready. That's good planning. But what the planning I think the Lord's speaking about is when you make your plans and then put God's name on the end of it to make it respectable. I'm going to go to Africa and I'm going to feed all the hungry people. And then at the end of it you say, and I think that's what God wants. No, folks. A good idea is not always a God idea. I'm not saying that you mustn't feed the hungry. I'm not saying that you mustn't take care of the widows and orphans. That's what we do here. But it must be God who tells you. Why? Because if it's not God's plan, it's not going to last. I don't know how many times I've seen missionaries come back from the front line, totally dejected, depressed, want to give up. Why? Oh, well, we thought it was a good idea to go. No. A good idea is not always a God idea. We need to do what God has told us to do. If God's told your friend to go and preach the gospel to the unreached people, then that's where you must go. But God might tell you to stay here and encourage the believers. You understand what I'm saying? So don't plan the Lord out of the picture. You might be a farmer watching this program, and you've worked hard all your life, you've built up a beautiful farm, and you've got 2 sons, and you want them to carry on with the family name on the farm because it's been farmed for 6 generations. I can see the ladies already smiling. You know where I'm coming from. And your sons grow up and the one says, Dad, I want to be a doctor. I want to help the sick. And the other boy says, Dad, I want to be an engineer. I want to perfect agricultural equipment so that people will be more effective. And you say, no, I want you. I've planned this farm for you. I've been working all my life. So they feel guilty and they become farmers because they're trying to make Dad happy. And it's a disaster. I've seen it more than once. They're not good farmers because their hearts are not in it. Don't plan for other people, folks. Rather pray and then let your son and your daughter come and say, Dad, I want to be a farmer. I've got 2 sons and 2 sons that are married to my 2 daughters. All 4 of those boys are farming. Okay, and I'm very happy about that. I'm so excited about that. But I never told them to do it. I said, you must do whatever you want to do. Don't plan your family's lives. That's what upsets them. Don't let your husband, don't try and make him do what you think he should do. Let him be himself. Let your wife be herself. Until next time, let's go according to God's plan. Goodbye.
We trust that you have been blessed by today's message. For more information, please visit angusbuchan.com.